is Log 1 spoken by Isaac Angulo, design engineer of the Virus drone. Last year I got annihilated at Drones and School Nationals. That's why I created Virus. Virus is a self-autonomous drone that can fly itself. Or it will be. I had to get the drone AI so it can learn how to fly by itself. I can't teach it how to fly. I'm not good enough. I will design special firmware so I can see what the drone is thinking. It's going well so far.
Alright, hey guys, I just wanted to make a video on this really interesting thing I learned about composite modes in my first YouTube video that I released. So, in the video, it was filmed with an analog camera that was like strapped on a drone. Okay, this makes sense because we made a video for an organization called Drones in School, which is an organization that organizes like drone races, and usually that organization makes them race with drones that have analog cameras. So it makes sense in the context of Drones in School to record this with an analog camera because it's from the POV of the drone. The original video had a little too much like RGB. By the way, whenever I say noise, I'm going to be talking about something called RGB noise, or like some people call it chroma noise. But regardless, it's visual noise. It's noise you could see, not the noise you could hear. So just keep that in mind. Let me adjust myself in my chair. Okay, but okay. So what was I saying? Okay, so the source that we got it from had a bit too much noise. So I removed some of it with a plugin called a Neat Video, which I mean it's a pretty good plugin. I made sure to keep some of the noise in because I wanted to keep that analog like camera look. I liked it. It was a little too much. Okay, but what about the scene where I switched cameras? So in one of the scenes I switched from an analog drone camera to a digital camera, but it was still from the point of view of the drone. So to prevent a continuity break, what do I do? Like, how do I make that as noisy as video? That was a problem. Okay, but let me show you how I did this. So here's some logic. I'm gonna show you guys some logic in DaVinci Resolve Fusion. So if we look here, let me open this. All right, here you go. So and let me drag this. All right, here you go. Here's the logic. So this is before I go over this, you guys need to know what a blending mode is. Okay, now blending mode is it's the math behind how two layers blend into one another. Okay, that there's a bunch of different blend modes. I think there's like 26. There's 26 different blending modes. And the one we're gonna be looking at today is a difference blend mode. Okay, because this one's a special one. Okay. Now here's how it works. Okay. So if I go into the edit page real quick, and let me make sure noise suppression is on in my OBS section. All right, good. All right, so if I go in here, and where was it? There you go. Right here. Okay, so these are two images that I have. They're duplicates. So if I go into the composite right here, if I turn it on, it's on difference. I switch it from normal to difference. Okay. Now if I turn it on, nothing happens, right? It's not the point. There has to be two layers in order for this to work. So if I go here, if I put this on top of the other, and I turn on difference, the resulting image is black. Okay, now ignore these lines here. I don't know why they're there. All right, so how do we use this to reintroduce noise to our digital camera? Okay, well, let's go back to our logic. Okay, so our logic was all the way over here. Okay. Open Fusion. Okay. So as you can see here, my bad. I have a primitive audio setup right now. I just like hit my microphone. I don't know if you guys heard that. But anyway, here. All right, so here's what's going on. Okay, so there's a noisy media here, right? Which is the media that has. Let me put these side by side. Noisy media and denoise media. Okay, so these are the two layers we're combining into one. Okay. Now let me get a noisy. Okay, that's a good frame. Okay, so as you see, the noisy media is on the left, right, and the denoise media is on the right. Now, the denoise media, or let's rename it to clean. The clean media. Where's the rename? Okay, clean media. Okay, so on the clean media, I use this plugin called Neat Video. You could use it for free, except with a watermark. Don't ask me how I was able to remove the watermark in my video. Don't ask me that. But it's a pretty good plugin. So support them if you want, whatever. What was I saying? I don't know. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so as you see, this one, the right side is clean, the left side is noisy. Okay. Now we're combining these two layers, and then here is the merge, the difference merge. Okay. So all the pixels that are not noisy, that don't have noise in them, have remained pretty much the same, right? So if we were to combine them, they would result in maybe not a black, maybe they'll result in a gray, but point is they'll result somewhere very near black. So pretty much the same thing, right? But now there's a difference in our noise, right? So all the noisy areas, their RGB values have been toned down. So now there's a difference. It's not going to result in black anymore once we combine them, right? So we have our the places that are noisy are going to be black, and the places that were noisy are now going to combine into a color, right? So for example, let's say like a random pixel here, the value is 25500, right? And a value here is gonna be like 100, 100, 100, right? So now the new pixel that's gonna result after the difference operation is going to be, what did I say? It was 255. So it's gonna be 155, and then I said yeah, 155, 100, and 100, because I said 25500, and then this one I said 100, 100, 100. So it would be, the result would be 155 0 0, because the red value is the only one that has difference in. So then we are able, if you times that for every single pixel that there is on screen, you're gonna end up getting this as your product. Right? That's your product. So we successfully extracted noise from our analog from this analog camera. We've extracted the noise. Now if you're good at math, you're gonna know why this is much more unsaturated than the noise here. As you see, the color's a bit dimmer. If you're good at math, you'll know why. But basically, we just fix this. We could just go into the color page and just boost the color of that, or saturate it a bit more, and then yeah, you have your noise. So if you're not good at math, basically we go from, if one value was like 255, the result is 155 after like subtraction. So you don't end up with a pure color after, but you could just like boost it up. But anyway, that was just a really interesting thing I learned. I never really thought of using composite modes like that. That was really fun to figure out. I'm not gonna say I just like started mumbling at the end. Sorry, I'm just I don't know. I just like, I don't do voiceovers. But anyway, and this is the final product right here after the saturation. So pretty cool. We were able to extract the noise. Look at that. That's our noise. And then I wasn't happy. I wasn't like, I had to export this as a still frame and then put it over the video. I wasn't ever like, I wanted the noise to move around like how it does, like as you can see right here, how it's like moving around. But I could never get the speed right, and you know I had a deadline to meet, so I didn't get it like perfectly the way I wanted. But at least I was able to extract it as a frame so that it doesn't look like such a crazy departure the from the analog footage that we had before, and so we could replicate it as close as possible. But anyway, I think that's the end of the video.